Welcome to the Raven Space YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space Daily, where we talk about Baltimore Ravens news every single day. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. We have 3 great news stories that we're going to hop right in. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed to the channel yet. We do great Baltimore Ravens videos every day, so we'll hop right in. The first story of the day comes from ESPN, and it's the biggest post-draft issue for the Baltimore Ravens. So ESPN did an article where it talks about every single team's post-draft concern. And for the Baltimore Ravens, the number one concern was figuring out wide receiver. And this is something that I echoed throughout the draft process. You guys can go see my other videos. I really thought that, we didn't get a wide receiver, so we could have did something like move down, use a second pick to move up, something like that to get one. And I'll read you guys the blurb from ESPN. Look at the receivers the Steelers and Bengals have. Antonio Brown, AJ Green, Martavis Bryant, John Ross, Juju Smith-Schuster. The Ravens' division rivals hoard receivers. The Ravens are rolling with Brashad Perriman, Mike Wallace, and not much else. So you can see that there. And the biggest issue to me is that we don't have anyone to play with Joe Flacco. And it's going to limit Joe Flacco's ability to be the best he can be. Again, you guys might think that Joe Flacco can do it by himself, but most quarterbacks can't do it by themselves. Even a great quarterback like Peyton Manning had to have receivers like Marvin Harrison, to help him get to where he was at. The only quarterback who I've seen do it time and time again with all the great receivers is Tom Brady. So, and he's, in many people's eyes, the greatest of all time. So it's hard for, me to say that Joe can do it by himself. Now, the Ravens still have a plan to acquire some talent. So we need to see what they're going to do in the free agency period after the draft. They've already brought some people in, and I'll read that to you in the next story. But it's important that the Ravens see their needs and build on them so Joe Flacco can have as much help as he can. Also, it would be great if a player like Brashad Perriman matures into a great playmaker. I think we know what Mike Wallace is, but I don't think we know what Brashad Perriman is. We also have an opportunity for our tight ends to mature as well. A player like Max Williams has a chance to jump up, improve, and be a playmaker for the Baltimore Ravens. Let me know what you guys think about our receiver situation in the comments below. I would love to hear how you guys feel about the receivers that we already have and what we can do in the future to get better. The next story is a story that always happens this time of year after the draft, where the Baltimore Ravens go and they call as many free agents as they can to invite them to the training camp, right? So after the draft, there's always some people who don't get drafted. So these players come on in and they do their best to make the team and become beneficial to the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm going to read some of the names of the players there. Again, you guys might not know them. I don't know some of them, but I'll let you guys, read. So first is quarterback Zach Terrell, Western Michigan. Then you got wide receiver and returner Tim White, Arizona State. Wide receiver Tim Patrick, Utah. Wide receiver Quincy Idobie, Ole Miss. Wide receiver C.J. Board, Tennessee Chattanooga. Linebacker Bam Bradley, Pitt. DN Omaris Bryant, Western Kentucky. Running back Taquan Mizell, Ricky Ortiz. Andrew Wiley, Bobby Puyo, and punter Kenny Allen. And so, of course, not all these people are going to make the team, right? We brought in the kicker. The kicker's not going to start over Tucker. It doesn't matter what the kicker does. Get these players in to make camp a little bit more competitive. You give looks to these players. So if a team does need a kicker, they have a chance to go get one. Of all these players, I think Zach Terrell has a chance of making the team because he'll sit behind Joe Flacco, as the Ravens do need a backup or a receiver out of the bunch. If I had to pick, I would pick Tim Patrick from Utah because he's a big receiver that would help the Ravens in red zone situations. So again, if you guys know more about these players, put it in the comments below. But these are the players that the Ravens have invited to their training camp, even though they were undrafted. So hopefully we get some good stories from these players going in the future. And then the last topic of the day is the over-unders from Vegas. If you guys don't often gamble, there's things called over-unders, right? And what an over-under is that put a number so we can see if the team is going to get over that amount or under that amount of wins. And you bet, right? And Vegas wants you to go over. So, for example, if your number is 5, is your team going to get over 5 wins or under 5 wins? And so Vegas really wants you to go over because they know most fans are optimistic and go over. But they're usually very close, right? So it gives you a good indication of where the people who are smart in picking these things, where they think that your team is going to fall, what's a good number for your team. And so I'm going to give you guys the AFC North standings here with the over-unders. And it's a great news for Baltimore Ravens fans. So Baltimore is 9.5, and I was super happy to see this number. It confirms my thoughts in the mailbag that I released earlier today, that the Baltimore Ravens at their worst are going to be a 8-win, 9-win team, and at their best can get to 11 wins. And so you see the Baltimore Ravens at 9.5. That means Vegas is saying, this is how good your team is. 9.5 is where we think the team will land. So your team is either going to be a 10-win team, or a 9-win team, which is good for the Ravens. Because if we overachieve, we can get to that, 11 wins and get a home game in the playoffs. So I was super excited to see this. If I was betting, I would take the over. I think the Ravens more realistically will get to 10 wins if we fill our wide receiver issues. But I really do think that the Ravens will get to 10 wins. And this was super exciting to see that Vegas also thinks the Ravens have a good chance to get to 10 wins. What do you think the Ravens will get? Are you taking the over or the under? Let me know in the comments, because I really do want to know how you guys are feeling about the Baltimore Ravens season. And that's the episode for today. I want to thank you guys so much. Again, please watch our Ravens mailbag that we released today and send in your questions to theravenspace@gmail.com. Our mailbag was a great show. We talked about different things like Max Williams and how he's going to progress, Matthew Judon. We talked about our biggest disappointments of 2016 for the Baltimore Ravens, stuff that all Ravens fans will like. So again, please like, share these videos, and subscribe to make the Ravens Space a stronger place, a bigger community for Baltimore Ravens fans. That's why we built this. So we're super excited about that. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, go Ravens.